you know what happened last night. Mitt Romney got smoked in two caucuses and one non-binding primary in Missouri, Colorado, and Minnesota. Rick Santorum won 3. Now Rick Santorum has now won more caucuses and primaries than Mitt Romney has, 4-3. Pretty amazing. We'll talk more about this, but Sandy, what's the poll question first?
After last night's primaries, who is the bigger anti-Romney candidate, Rick Santorum or Newt Gingrich?
Rick Santorum.
At 44%.
That's all?
Yeah, I still think it's Gingrich myself, but that's going to change.
No, I think Newt's sliding away. He's he said that he was not on the ballot in Missouri because it was a beauty contest, but he also didn't make the ballot in his home state of Virginia. So you got to wonder whether he's not just making excuses for inept or underfinanced organizations. Mitt Romney has reason to be concerned. This is John Fund. What is John Fund doing writing for the Corner? I thought he would work for the Wall Street Journal. Has he switched papers? What Romney won't be able to explain away is just how much more poorly he did tonight, meaning last night, in those 3 states than in his 2008 showing when he lost the GOP nomination for president. In 2008, Romney crushed John McCain in the Minnesota caucuses by nearly 2-1. Tonight, he was sent into a humiliating third-place finish, trailing both Santorum and Ron Paul. In Missouri, in 2008, Romney held John McCain and Mike Huckabee to something close to a 3-way tie, winning 29% of the vote. This year, with fewer opponents, he only won 25%. In Colorado, Romney outperformed John McCain by 3-1 in 2008. This year, he lost. If Romney indeed loses all 3 states tonight, which he did, it will be in large part because he has failed to close the deal with conservatives who dominate the Republican Party more than they did in 2008. Mitt Romney doesn't seem to realize he's campaigning for 2 jobs, not 1. He is doing quite well in the race to become the Republican nominee for president and must still be considered the strong favorite. But ever since Barry Goldwater captured the GOP nomination in 1964, the Republican nominee has been more or less the titular head of the conservative movement, the single most important component of the Republican Party. It is that race that Romney is doing so poorly in, as evidenced by the willingness of so many conservatives to vote against him. Romney would help himself and his party if he realized he'll have a much higher chance of winning the general election if he reaches out to conservatives and convinces them to be enthusiastic. It's one thing to win the vote of every anti-Obama voter in the country, but on his current trajectory, Romney will fail to convince many of them to make that extra effort to get their friends and neighbors to the polls. That could ultimately mean the difference between victory and defeat, and for now, Romney seems oblivious to that fact. I don't know that they're oblivious to it. I mean, they started issuing press releases yesterday from the Boston office saying, well, it's caucuses. No one goes out to caucuses. Of course, Mitt Romney took a big victory lap on Saturday after the Nevada caucuses when he won overwhelmingly. But now he's losing the 2 caucuses last night, and that's not a big deal. And who cares about the beauty contest? By the way, there were 250,000 people voted in the Missouri quote unquote beauty contest primary, which doesn't decide any delegates. But in 2008, it was 500,000. So the turnout was half of what it was last cycle in Missouri. That's not a good sign either. 1-877-469-4322. 1-877-469-4322. 774. Where is Sal now? Is he still on Route 95, or has he opened up a full can of whoop ass yet? Everybody's concerned. We have a new theme song for Sal DeMacy. Do we have it? Do we have it handy? Not a new theme. That's not a new theme song, but it's a cut of a theme song. It's from Weird Al Yankovic. Thanks to Jay, equipment isn't what it used to be. We have a disease here. It's called death by AM. Josh, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Josh.
Another one rides bus.
Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus.
Another one rides bus.
That's Sal DeMacy's new theme song here. Josh, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, Howie, the Santorum really beat up that Massachusetts golden boy, Silver Spoon Romney. When
as opposed to Silver Spoon Obama.
Yeah, well,
Silver
when
Spoon Ted
billionaire
Kennedy.
Donald Trump endorsed millionaire Mitt Romney, I thought that Joe Sixpack couldn't resist voting for Romney. What happened?
I guess Joe Sixpack resisted. Josh, you ought to be happy about this. I mean, they say that Santorum is even more unelectable than Romney. You should be pleased as punch about this.
Well, what Romney and Trump have in common is that they both like to fire people. That's what they have in common.
Really? And who is what's going to happen to these soldiers that are going to be separated from the service? Are they being fired by Barack Obama?
They're going to be given jobs by Barack Obama.
Oh, they are, huh? Okay,
Yep.
good. Go have another glass of Kool-Aid, Josh.
With friends like Donald Trump,
Okay.
it's no wonder that Mitt Romney isn't worried about poor people. The only time they see
Okay,
poor
yep. 1-877-469-4322. What a great way to start the day. There's nowhere to go but up. Scott, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Josh, go back to watching MSNBC, would you? This is not your radio show.
I know. Well, I don't care. If he listens, he listens. He's one of our WVMT regulars. That's okay. I like all our listeners. But
unlike him, Howie, nobody's happy about the Republicans shredding each other in these stupid primaries. But I am rather happy that I called when he won Iowa and was told that it was a flash in the pan, and it's not. And I'll tell you, Howie, you're as big a political junkie as I am.
Yeah.
I think the real reason it's happening is because nobody has a job in the Midwest states, and they want to work.
Yeah.
And I just don't think, unfortunately, I love Mitt, and there's a lot of things I like about him.
Yeah.
But he's not what most people are looking for. Sure, he's going to get voted for because nobody wants Obama again. There's no question about that. But I think, Santorum is someone who's not going to just manage the decay of the nation like a Gingrich or a Romney. I hate to say it, but
yeah, there was a story
the country's suffering, Howie.
I know there was a piece in the Wall Street Journal today. There was a piece in the Wall Street Journal today saying that Mitt, if Mitt's just going to run on being a manager, he's going to lose. He's got to be a visionary. He's got to be like, the Democrats are visionaries. Their vision is a nightmare, as it always turns out. But they're always trying to project something. Whereas Mitt is just saying, I'll bring in some consultants, and here's my 59-point plan. And you're right, nobody's going for it.
Nobody's got a job, Howie. I go door to door every day. I do a repair work.
Yeah.
And up in Maine, nobody is working. Nowhere.
Yeah. I know. We got to talk about this. There was a big front page story in the Boston Globe, believe it or not. The Boston Globe, saying that the real unemployment rate is close to 20%. And wow. It is. It is.
Yeah, I can't believe they're actually admitting
I
it.
know. Someone's going to get fired by Pinch Salzburger. You're not supposed to let out the dirty little secret. I mean, the happy days are here again. Look, go to CNBC. Oh, the stock market's going to hit a new all-time high. Oh, great. Great. Thanks for the call, Scott.
Sorry.
1-877-469-4322. No more of Josh, please, for the love of God. 1-877-469-4322. I take it Josh didn't do military time and had the chance to be involuntarily separated. That's what they call it. 1-877-469-4322. 413 says, I take it, wait a second, Romney knows how to fire, but it is clear Obama does not know how to hire. We're going to get to that later on. 1-877-469-4322. I mean, again, how bad is it when the Globe does a story saying no one can get a job? Rob, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, Rob from Vermont. As far as Josh from Vermont, I'm just going to try to offer my apology for Josh.
That's no need to apologize for Josh. He's good comic relief.